Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome back again to our lectures on the glories of our most beloved Sri Vrindavan Dham. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pashtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nivishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So we're continuing with our mini-series on stimulation for ecstatic love. And this will be part 49. We're almost at 50. In this lecture, I would like to continue with our discussion on Sudarshan chakra, particularly in relationship to Vrindavan, but at the same time including some of Sudarshan chakra's pastimes elsewhere as well. To begin with, today, Srila Jiva Goswami writes in Bhakti Sandarbha, actually quoting Vishnu Dharma Purana, where Maharaj Bali is offering prayers to Krishna's Sudarshan chakra. He writes, even the greatest of yogis cannot completely nor properly glorify the Lord's Sudarshan chakra. Because of the illumination of this whirling chakra, the demon Bali was able to see the entire universe with its three planetary systems, Bur, Bhuvar, and Shvarlokas. Now, Srila Jiva Goswami goes on to say that in various places in Vedic literatures, the Sudarshan chakra, the flag of Garuda, and other paraphernalia of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are described as causeless, as causeless. He says that this means the Lord's paraphernalia is transcendental and has no material origin, just as the Lord himself has no origin. Now, I was fascinated to find another prayer referring to the Sudarshan chakra in the Mangala Charan to Sri Baladev Vidyabhushana's Govinda Bhasham. It was like finding a rare gem somewhere. It's very nice, as it's actually a prayer for shelter. And we're always looking for shelter in this world. Baladev writes, with his Sudarshan chakra, Lord Krishna protected the great devotee Parikshit, who was within Uttara's womb, wounded by the arrows of the wicked son of Drona. Lord Krishna freed him from all suffering and enlightened him with the crest jewel of Vedic knowledge. I pray that Lord Krishna may become my shelter as well. And Sri Rupa Goswami Prabhupada also refers to the mention of Sudarshan chakra in a humorous discussion between Radha and Krishna. I found this in Padyavali. It's verse 282. It's really sweet. Some humorous conversation between Radha and Krishna. And the conversation goes as follows. Radha, who taps on my door with one finger? Krishna, oh crooked girl, it is Madhava. Radha, Madhava is the name of spring. Has springtime come knocking on my door? Krishna, certainly not. I am the holder of the Sudarshan wheel. Radha, potters hold wheels. Are you a potter? Krishna, I am not. I am the person who holds up the entire world. Radha, the forked-tongued serpent king, Ananta, holds up the world. Are you he? Krishna, no, I am the person who crushes serpents. Radha, the bird king Garuda crushes serpents. Are you he? Krishna, no, I'm Lord Hari. Radha, Hari is the name of the monkey king Hanuman. Are you he? It finishes like that. So Rupa Goswami adds, may Lord Krishna, who holds the Sudarshan chakra, and who smiled to hear these clever words from Srimati Radharani, protect you all. And one final Sudarshan chakra prayer from Sri Rupa Goswami's Padyavali. This is verse 60. The elephant of my mind is drowning in the waters of material illusion, strongly held by the ferocious crocodile of the threefold miseries. It anxiously cries with fear in its heart. O Lord Hari, please rescue it with your glowing Sudarshan chakra. Please rescue it with your glowing Sudarshan chakra, which cuts the sufferings of the demigods to pieces. Thank you, Sri Rupa Goswami Prabhupada. Now, as we explained in last week's lecture, after the pastime of Lord Krishna's lifting Govardhan Hill, in which you can remember Sudarshan was assisting by dispelling Indradev's inundation of Vrindavan by spinning above Govardhan Hill, the Lord gave Sudarshan residence at the base of Govardhan Hill, and that place became famous as Chakra Tirtha. Chakra referring to the wheel, Chakra Tirtha. Now, with further research this last week, I came across the prana mantra for Chakra Tirtha. You know, all the holy places have prana mantras. We went through many of them a few years ago. So I found the prana mantra for Chakra Tirtha. It's mentioned, of course, in Braj Bhakti Vilas, chapter 5, verse 7, by Narayan Bhatta Goswami, another one of our heroes. He writes, Chakra Tirtha namoshtubhyam Krishna chakrena lanjitam sarvapada chite tashme Krishna nirmala nirmitam. Krishna nirmala nirmitam. It goes, Oh, the abode of chakra, I offer my respects to you. You are embedded with the mark of chakra. You burn all sins. O abode manifested by Krishna himself, I offer my respects to you again and again and again. Then he says further, he writes a little purport. He writes, for one who chants this mantra 10 times and sips the sacred water of Chakra Tirtha, because it's on the banks of the Manasi Ganga at Govardhan, all their sins are destroyed in the blink of an eye without any doubt. Don't doubt it. Now, just yesterday I found a reference to Chakra Tirtha in the Adi Varaha Purana. You can see behind me there's lots of books. So I found a reference to Chakra Tirtha in the Adi Varaha Purana. And surprisingly, it also includes a brief summary of the famous pastime of Sudarshan Chakra chasing Durvasa Muni for his offending Ambarish Maharaj, which of course is also there in the Srimad Bhagavatam. But the Adi Varaha Purana says, referring first of all to Chakra Tirtha, Chakra Tirtha is famous throughout all Mathura Vrindavan Mandala. It is near Ambarish Tila, the place of Maharaj Ambarish, where he worshipped the Supreme Lord with all the limbs of pure devotion. Once this devoted king was about to break his Ekadasi fast at the auspicious moment of Dvadasi, when the sage Durvasa arrived at that place. The sage's behavior towards King Ambarish displeased Lord Vishnu's chakra, who chased Durvasa around the universe for an entire year. Durvasa fled even up to Brahmaloka and Shivaloka, but the chakra pursued him relentlessly. Finally, he reached Vaikuntha-loka, where Lord Vishnu advised him to go back to Ambarish and fall at his feet and beg forgiveness. Durvasa Muni did so, and Ambarish prayed to the chakra to spare Durvasa. It was by these prayers that the chakra stopped and the sage's life was spared. One who bathes here at Chakra Tirtha is liberated from sin, even the sin of killing a Brahmana. By the mercy of Sudarshan Chakra, he will obtain darshan of the Supreme Lord and his life will become successful. Adi Varaha Purana. Now, I also heard another interesting fact from a group of Brajbasi sadhus who actually reside at Chakra Tirtha when I visited there last year. And they told me that because of Chakra Tirtha's potency, because of the place, the potency of that place, whenever demons come to Mathura, Vrindavan, their powers get absorbed by that powerful chakra of Lord Vishnu, and thus they become harmless within the boundaries of Mathura Vrindavan. I thought that was really nice. I just remembered it. Now, several months ago, I visited Srirangam, one of my favorite places actually, Srirangam in South India, which of course is the headquarters of the Sri Sampradaya, headed up by the illustrious Ramanujacharya. And while I was there, I stayed at the home of Murli Bhatta Prabhu, who I've mentioned before is a direct descendant of Venkat Bhatta, with whom Lord Chaitanya stayed for some time while visiting Srirangam during his tour of South India. This is all in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And remember now that from the family of Venkat Bhatta eventually came Gopal Bhatta Goswami, he was a young boy at that time, and Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati to settle into Vrindavan. Anyway, in my discussions with Murli Bhatta Prabhu, he shared with me some of the characteristics of Sudarshan chakra revealed by a great acharya in their sampradaya named Vishwanath Bhattacharya. Vishwanath Bhattacharya, very famous acharya in their line. And that acharya wrote about Sudarshan chakra. The chakra of Vishnu is made from molten gold. It is as hot as the sun god. The sharpness of its edge is similar to blades of lightning in the sky. It shines like 12 suns. It revolves on the forefinger of Lord Vishnu with more than 1,000,000 times the speed of a whirlpool. It travels to where he aims within the speed of time when a thought comes to Lord Vishnu's mind. It travels to where he aims within the speed of time when a thought comes to Lord Vishnu's mind. Very poetic way of expressing that. It shatters the enemy and all obstacles on the path of devotion faster than a blink of an eye. Mercilessly and furiously it cuts demons into small pieces of flesh and bones, which are not even accepted by flesh-eating insects. If Sudarshan chakra stands in front of the sun, his magnificent and huge form hides the sun and causes the whole earth to become devoid of sunlight. If the conch of the Lord appears as the moon in his hand, then Sudarshan chakra is the revolving sun in his hand. May Sudarshan chakra always protect all the servants of the Lord like a great canopy-like covering guard. Very beautiful. Now, as that great acharya in the Sri Sampradaya clearly stated, the Sudarshan chakra is the Lord's personal weapon, employed to kill and to liberate his enemies. So, with much more research, I found 10 different occasions when Krishna used his Sudarshan chakra to kill his enemies and other demons. I'm sure there's other times as well, but I only had 1 week. So these 10 times I found are, number 1, after receiving his divine Sudarshan disc from Agni, that's described in the Mahabharata, Kandhava Daha Parva, chapter 219, Krishna used it to slay the Danavas and other creatures residing in the forest of Kandhava. That's one instance. Number 2, when Krishna slayed his cousin Shishupal during Yudhishthira's Rajasuya Yagya. Devotees are familiar with that pastime. That's there in the Mahabharata, Shishupal Vada Parva, chapter 267, verse 42 for scholars. A third time is Krishna used his discus to sever the head of Satadhanva, the murderer of Satyajit, who was the father of Satyabhama. That's actually in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, chapter 57. A fourth time is in his mission to chastise Narakasura, the Lord used his disc to cut down the demon Mura. That's found in Vishnu Purana, Book 5, Chapter 29. A fifth occasion, Krishna employed this chakra, Sudarshan chakra, after he uprooted the heavenly Parijatra tree on Satyabhama's request. The demigods, led by Indra, had a fierce fight with the Lord. And in that battle, Lord Krishna used his discus to cut the chariot of Kuvera into pieces and trimmed the tips of the tridents of the Rudras, it's described. Now, where's that found? In Vishnu Purana, Book 5, Chapter 30. A sixth occasion was when Krishna beheaded Pondraka. It's very famous. Krishna beheaded Pondraka, who had made a false declaration of being the real Vasudeva. So Krishna beheaded him with his Sudarshan chakra. That's, of course, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 66. Now, in Krishna book, Chapter 66 as well, we hear Krishna say to Pondraka at that time, it's very famous, I remember it from my early days in Krishna consciousness. Krishna said, when he was challenging Pondraka before he killed him, I shall never give up the symbols of Vasudeva, especially my disc. I shall never give up the symbols of Vasudeva, because, Pondraka was imitating the Lord by supposedly having these symbols, and he wanted them from Krishna. But Krishna said, I'll never give up the symbols of Vasudeva, especially my disc. I shall use this disc to kill you. Not only you, but all your followers also. I shall destroy you and your foolish associates, who merely constitute a society of cheaters and cheated. A society of cheaters and cheated. O foolish king, Pondraka, you will then have to conceal your face in disgrace. And when your head is severed from your body by my disc, it will be surrounded by meat-eating birds like vultures, hawks, and eagles. At that time, instead of becoming my shelter, as you have demanded, you will become subject to the mercy of these low-born birds. Hare Krishna. Whoa. Krishna can be like a thunderbolt or soft as a rose. We want the soft rose. Also, a seventh occasion, Krishna used his disc to dispose of Salva, that demon who had mastered the art of deception is described. That's Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 77. An eighth occasion, using his disc, the Lord sliced off the head of Vidurata, who was seeking to avenge the death of his brother Dantravarka. That's also 10th Canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chapter 78. Number 9, I'm sure there's unlimited times, but number 9, during the war with Banasura, Lord Krishna used his Sudarshan disc to counter the Brahma Shira, it's described, Brahma Shira weapon fired by Kartikeya. That's Mahabharat, Harivamsha Parva, Chapter 112. Let's see, that was what? That was 9. So 10. And when Sudakshina, the son of the king of Kashi, enraged at his father's death, sent a fearsome demon to wreak havoc on Dwarka, Lord Krishna invoked again the Sudarshan chakra, which is described not only overpowered the demon, but also burned the entire city of Varanasi, Kashi, Benares to the ground. That's Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 66. And of course, we all know that 500 years ago, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu manifested his Sudarshan chakra while running to chastise Jagai and Madai after Madai had harmed Lord Nityananda. But he didn't actually use the Sudarshan chakra because Lord Nityananda, whose compassion personified, said, Lord, that's not your mood in this age to use the Sudarshan chakra. You're just giving mercy in the form of the chanting of the holy names to purify everyone. So put that Sudarshan chakra away. Now, there's also a detailed description of Sudarshan chakra personified, because we know, as we've discussed many times, In the spiritual world, everything's personified. So there's a very beautiful, detailed description of this discus, personified, Sudarshan chakra, personified, where he's carrying a number of weapons. And I found a detailed description of that in Balabhacharya's, from the Pushti Marg, Balabhacharya's work entitled Sudarshan Kavacha. It's famous amongst the devotees of Balabhacharya, Sudarshan Kavacha. And therein it's described, it's so interesting, that the personified form of Sudarshan Chakra wears yellow silken garments. He is bluish black in color. He wears a diamond crown and makara-shaped earrings. His chin and face are very beautiful, with the decorations of sandalwood paste and kumkuma. And in his 16 hands, he holds the following. Love is in the details. An arrow, a bow, a lotus, a trident, a sword, a dagger, a hunter's rope, armor, a snake, a plow, a hoe, a club, a conch, a parsha. A parsha is like a cutter, and brajra, not braja, but brajra, V-A-J-R-A, that's a thunderbolt. And number 16, blazing fire. He wears a kaustubha gem on his chest. He's decorated with a long vanamali garland. He stands on a star-shaped mandala, protecting devotees of the Lord, and he kills the demons. He blesses devotees who take shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu and Krishna. That's really an important part. He blesses devotees who take shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu and Krishna. He controls time and moves the earth with his speed. He fans the Lord and creates for him warmth in the cold waters of the milk ocean. He also travels with the speed of the Lord's heart's desire. He travels with the speed of the Lord's heart's desire. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Balabhacharya. Now I would like to share a pastime that is famous in Jagannath Puri, particularly in the Jagannath Puri temple in Orissa. It's well-known pastime. I've heard it several times through the years there. It's really interesting. As many of you know, next to Lord Jagannath, in the temple resides a Sudarshan chakra in the form of a wooden pillar. In fact, I think many devotees in their homes, when they have Jagannath, Subhadra, and Baladev there, they have that little stamba, that little wooden pillar. And this is a pastime where Sudarshan chakra becomes a little proud of his service to the Lord. And Hanuman curbs that pride. Of course, we know that the Lord and all of his associates are always above the modes of nature. They're completely transcendental. They never come in contact with the material energy, even if they're here in this world for their pastimes. And thus they can never be affected by something like pride. If they do exhibit it, it's simply for our benefit, to teach us a lesson how never to fall prey to pride or any material quality, or how to become free from it. It's pastime. This is a pastime. So, in the Puri temple, there's a deity of Hanuman located at the north gate of the temple. He's there for the protection of the temple. Those of you who are Indian-born, you can go in the temple. I can't go, but you can confirm that a deity of Hanuman is located in the north gate of the temple. He's there for the protection of the temple. He's also known as Chari Chakra Hanuman, Chari Chakra Hanuman, and Astabhuja Hanuman. He has two names. Chari Chakra means he's holding 4 Sudarshan chakras in his hands. And Astabhuja means he has 8 arms. So as we mentioned, once the Sudarshan chakra of the Lord became a little proud, thinking, I am so close to the Lord, therefore I'm most dear to him. However, Lord Jagannath, he didn't like this manifestation of so-called pride in his Sudarshan chakra, so he decided to teach, or rather, let us say, to correct Sudarshan's pride. His plan began when he sent Sudarshan chakra to call for Hanuman. Jagannath said, I want to see Hanuman. Sudarshan, you go and bring him here. Now, it's described at that time, Hanuman was engaged in tapasya at a holy place called Abhairanya. Abhairanya, be a nice name for a devotee. So, Sudarshan chakra immediately went to inform Hanuman that Lord Jagannath desired to see him. So after informing Hanuman, Sudarshan chakra immediately returned to the temple, reaching there before Hanuman. But as Hanuman, near the temple gates, proud Sudarshan chakra started to move swiftly around the temple perimeters, blocking the path of Hanuman from each entrance to the temple. So he couldn't come in and see Lord Jagannath. Sudarshan was thinking, I'm a better servant of the Lord, why should Hanuman be given a special darshan of Lord Jagannath? However, at that time, that moment, by the mercy of Lord Jagannath, Hanuman became empowered with 6 extra arms and hands. Thus he became Astabhuj Hanuman, Hanuman with 8 arms. So in 4 hands, 4 of the arms, he suddenly was holding 4 Sudarshan chakras. With 2 of his other hands, he was offering pranams and respects, and 2 other hands were clapping in kirtan. In this way, Hanuman proceeded towards his meeting with Lord Jagannath. Now, after some time, Sudarshan chakra reached the same place where Hanuman was meeting Lord Jagannath, and he was immediately humbled, seeing Hanuman holding 4 Sudarshan chakras, very big, powerful Sudarshan chakras. So at this point, well, this was, to humble him. The opposite of pride is humility. So he became humble. Of course, he was always humble, but again, this is a pastime. And at this point, Lord Jagannath felt it necessary to give some punishment to Sudarshan chakra for his offense to Hanuman in particular. Not only had he showed some pride, but he was offensive to a great devotee like Hanuman. So Jagannath thought it appropriate to give him a little bit of punishment. So what was the punishment that Sudarshan chakra received as a result of this offense to Hanuman? The Lord told him that in the age of Kali, he will not have his disc form, but he will take the form of a pillar or a stamba, which will always be at the left side of Lord Jagannath. So now you know why. I mean, I myself many times had wondered, Sudarshan chakra is there as a stamba? Why isn't he there as a disc? Here it is. This is the pastime which all the pandits tell. Oral tradition coming down through time in Jagannath Puri. Yes, so now you know. We all know. So we'll finish today. I'm back home. I'm back in Sri Vrindavan Dham. Very happy to be here after traveling for some months in different parts of the world. So we're getting ready for our Kartik Parikrama. We've got about 300 devotees coming in a couple of days, so we to get to work and make those preparations. So we'll finish today with the prayers of Maharaj Ambarish to Sudarshan chakra from the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. You could say this is a very fitting ending to this lecture. There's quite a few prayers here, but very relevant and very important. So Bhagavatam, these are the verses from Bhagavatam. Maharaj Ambarish said, O Sudarshan chakra, you are fire. You are the most powerful sun, and you are the moon. You are the master of all luminaries. You are water, earth, and sky. You are the air. You are the 5 sense objects: sound, touch, form, taste and smell. And you are the senses also. O most favorite of Achyuta, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you have thousands of spokes. O master of the material world, destroyer of all weapons, original vision of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Kindly give shelter and be auspicious to this Brahmana, meaning Durvasa Muni. O Sudarshan wheel, you are religion, you are truth, you are encouraging statements, you are sacrifice, and you are the enjoyer of the fruits of sacrifice. You are the maintainer of the entire universe, and you are the supreme transcendental prowess in the hands of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You are the original vision of the Lord, and therefore you are known as Sudarshana. Everything has been created by your activities, and therefore you are all-pervading. O Sudarshan, you have a very auspicious hub, and therefore you are the upholder of all religion. You are just like an inauspicious comet for the irreligious demons. Indeed, you are the maintainer of the three worlds. You are full of transcendental effulgence, you are as quick as the mind, and you are able to work wonders. I can simply utter the word Namaha, offering obeisances unto you. O master of speech, by your effulgence, full of religious principles, the darkness of the world is dissipated, and the knowledge of learned persons or great souls becomes manifest. Indeed, no one can surpass your effulgence, for all things, manifested and unmanifested, gross and subtle, superior and inferior, are but various forms of you that are manifested by your effulgence. O indefatigable one, when you are sent by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to enter amongst the soldiers of the Daityas and the Danavas, you stay on the battlefield and unendingly separate their arms, bellies, thighs, legs, and heads. O protector of the universe, you are engaged by the Supreme Personality of Godhead as his all-powerful weapon in killing the envious enemies. For the benefit of our entire dynasty, kindly favor this poor Brahmana. This will certainly be a favor for all of us. If her family has given charity to the proper persons, if we have performed ritualistic ceremonies and sacrifices, if we have properly carried out our occupational duties, and if we have been guided by learned brahmanas, I wish, in exchange, that this brahmana be freed from the burning caused by the Sudarshan chakra. If the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is one without a second, who is the reservoir of all transcendental qualities, who is the life and soul of all living entities, is pleased with us, we wish that this Brahman, Durvasa Muni, is freed from the pain of being burned. Wow. Again, we must offer our gratitude to Ambarish Maharaj for such beautiful prayers, which have come down through eons of time, purifying all of our hearts. So thank you, Prabhu. This is our second and final class on Sudarshan Chakra. And although we'll be very busy here in the month of Kartik, we'll make sure that we have another class next Friday and throughout the entire month here. So from Shri Vrindavan Dham, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki, Shri Shri Radharama Sundar ki, Vrindavaneshwari Shrimati Radharani ki, Mayapur Dham ki, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Shri Krishna Sankirtanya ki, Nitai Gaur Pimnandi, Jai Jai Sri Sri Radhe Shan. All glories to Shri